Every single week, without even thinking about it, you are probably pouring something down your drain that is silently killing your septic system. And the worst part? You bought it at the grocery store. You use it to clean your home. You think it's making things safer. But underneath your yard, it is doing the opposite. And by the time you find out, the bill is going to be somewhere between $10,000 and $40,000. Money that your home insurance almost certainly will not cover. We need to talk about bleach. Here is something that most people with a septic system never find out until it is too late. Your septic tank is not just a box in the ground that holds waste. It is alive. Right now, underneath your yard, there are billions of living bacteria working around the clock, breaking down everything that goes down your drains. Toilet paper, grease, soap, food particles, all of it. Those bacteria are the only reason your system works. Without them, the waste just sits there. It builds up, it hardens, it blocks, and eventually, it destroys everything. Now here's the problem. Most American households use bleach every single week. In the laundry, in the bathroom, in the kitchen, for the toilet. And every single time that bleach goes down the drain, it travels straight into your septic tank and starts killing those bacteria. Not just the bad ones, all of them. The good ones too. The ones your entire system depends on to function. This is not a scare story. This is backed by real science. And by the end of this video, you are going to understand exactly what is happening underground, why it matters more than most homeowners realize, and what you can do right now to stop the damage before it becomes something you cannot fix. Let's start from the beginning, because a lot of people honestly do not know how a septic system works. And if you do not understand how it works, you cannot understand why bleach is such a problem. So your home has drains. Every toilet flush, every shower, every time you wash dishes or run the laundry. All of that water and everything in it flows through your pipes and ends up in one place, your septic tank. This is a large underground container, usually made of concrete, fiberglass, or plastic, buried somewhere on your property. Most residential tanks hold around 1,000 gallons of liquid, sometimes more depending on the size of your home. Inside that tank, something really interesting happens. The waste separates into 3 layers. At the very bottom, you have sludge. That is the heavy, solid material that sinks. At the very top, you have scum. That is the fats, oils, and grease that float. And in the middle, you have liquid. Wastewater that has been partially separated from the solid stuff. Now, the liquid in the middle eventually flows out of the tank and into what is called a drain field or leach field. This is a network of underground pipes or trenches, usually in your backyard, where the water slowly filters through the soil. The soil acts as a natural filter, removing harmful bacteria and contaminants as the water moves through it. Eventually, that water makes its way back into the groundwater, clean, filtered, safe. That is how it is supposed to work. But here is the part that almost nobody talks about. The whole process depends entirely on bacteria, living, active, billion-strong colonies of bacteria inside your tank. These bacteria eat the organic waste in the sludge in the liquid layers. They break it down. They reduce the volume of solids. They keep the system from getting overloaded. Without them, the sludge layer grows and grows and grows until it takes over the tank, then spills into the drain field, clogs the soil, and the whole system stops working. So when something kills those bacteria, the entire operation falls apart, slowly at first, then all at once. Now let's talk about bleach specifically, because this is where it gets really important. Bleach is sodium hypochlorite. It is a powerful chemical that kills bacteria by destroying their proteins. Scientists describe it like this. It denatures the bacterial proteins, making them clump together and become useless. Think of it like cooking an egg. When you cook an egg, the proteins change permanently. You cannot uncook it. Bleach does the same thing to bacteria. It hits them and they are done. And this is actually why bleach is so good at what we buy it for. Cleaning surfaces, killing germs, disinfecting bathrooms. That ability to destroy bacteria is exactly the point when you spray it on your toilet seat or pour it into your laundry to kill mold and mildew. But your septic system does not care what your intentions are. When that bleach goes down the toilet or the drain, it does not stop at the surface. It just cleaned. It keeps going, down through the pipes, into the tank. And there, it does exactly what it was designed to do. Kill bacteria, all of them. A researcher named Dr. Mark Gross conducted a laboratory study on exactly this. His findings showed that when the bleach concentration inside a standard 1,000 gallon septic tank reached the level equivalent to about 1.85 gallons of liquid bleach, it triggered what he called die-off conditions. That means the bacterial population inside the tank was essentially wiped out. Now, 1.85 gallons sounds like a lot, and on its own, in one single pour, it is. But think about your weekly cleaning routine. You do laundry with bleach. You clean the bathroom. You pour some down the toilet to keep it fresh. Maybe your spouse uses bleach spray in the kitchen. Over the course of a week, across multiple drains, across multiple uses, the cumulative amount of bleach entering your system can get close to or exceed that level more easily than you think. And here's the thing that really matters. Even if you do not hit that catastrophic die-off level every single time, the repeated exposure still does serious damage. Every time the bleach enters the tank, it kills a portion of the bacterial population. The bacteria do recover. Studies show recovery can happen in as little as 30 hours of normal use after a single event. But if you are consistently introducing bleach on a weekly basis, the population never fully stabilizes. It is constantly being knocked back, suppressed, weakened. What happens then? The bacteria cannot keep up with the incoming waste. Solids start accumulating faster than normal. The sludge layer grows thicker, quicker. You end up needing your tank pumped more often. And eventually, if the problem goes on long enough, the excess solids spill over into the drain field. When solids get into the drain field, that is when things get really expensive. The soil gets clogged with organic material. The water stops filtering properly. You might start to see wet spots or standing water in your yard above where the drain field is. You might notice slow drains inside the house, maybe a sewage smell in your garden or near the tank lid. And if you ignore those signs long enough, the drain field fails completely. A failed drain field is not like a broken pipe you can just swap out. In many cases, it cannot even be repaired. It has to be completely replaced. New pipes, new excavation, new trenches. In some cases, the location of the drain field itself has to change because the soil is too saturated to absorb anything anymore. The cost to replace a drain field alone can run anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 on the low end, and often much, much more. And if the entire system needs to go, the tank, the lines, the drain field, everything, you are looking at a bill between $10,000 and $40,000, depending on your location, your soil, your property layout, and local regulations. One family in California paid over $20,000 for a full replacement. Another in New England faced a similar bill, plus the cost of completely redoing their backyard landscaping that had to be torn up in the process. Your standard homeowner's insurance policy almost certainly does not cover this. Insurers classify septic system failure as a maintenance issue, wear and tear, not an accident. So when the system goes, you are writing that check yourself. But bleach is not the only problem. And this is the part that surprises most people. Your septic system is under attack from several directions, and most of them are sitting under your kitchen sink or in your bathroom cabinet right now. Antibacterial soap. This is probably the second biggest offender after bleach, and it is in a huge number of American households. The whole point of antibacterial soap is to kill bacteria on your hands and skin, which sounds great. But when it washes down the drain, it carries those same bacteria-killing compounds straight into your septic tank. Every hand wash, every dish soap with antibacterial properties, every body wash that says kills 99.9% of germs on the label. All of that is going into your tank and doing damage to your bacterial population. Chemical drain cleaners, products like Drano, Liquid Plumber, and similar options. These are designed specifically to dissolve organic material, which is exactly what your beneficial bacteria are made of. Dr. Mark Gross's research showed that just 11.3 grams of Drano, less than half an ounce, less than a tablespoon, is enough to kill all the bacteria in a standard 0.000 gallon septic tank. Think about that for a second. When you pour Drano into a slow drain, you are not using a tiny amount. You are usually pouring in a significant quantity, and all of it ends up in the tank. Powder laundry detergent. This one catches people off guard. Powder detergents do not always dissolve completely in water, especially in cold wash cycles. Partially dissolved powder can travel into the tank and add to the solid layer, making the sludge problem worse. Liquid detergents, especially biodegradable ones, are significantly safer for your system. Water softener systems. A lot of homes with private wells also have water softeners because, well, water can be very hard. Those softener systems flush salt-heavy brine into your drain system during regeneration cycles. That high salt water can disrupt the bacterial environment inside your tank and cause problems over time, especially in systems that are already struggling. Even some medications can be a factor. Antibiotics that you take when you are sick end up in your waste stream. If you are on a course of antibiotics, a meaningful amount of that drug is being excreted and ending up in your tank. In high enough concentrations, they can suppress bacterial activity too. The point here is not to make you paranoid about every single thing you use. The point is to help you understand that your septic system is a living ecosystem, and most of us have been treating it like a garbage disposal that can handle anything. It cannot. Now here's why this matters beyond just your wallet. Your septic system is not just dealing with your home's waste. It is sitting on your property underneath soil that connects to your local groundwater. When a septic system starts failing, when those bacterial populations collapse and untreated waste starts making its way out of the tank improperly, that material does not just stay in your yard. The EPA has documented that failing septic systems are one of the leading sources of groundwater contamination in the United States. We are talking about E. coli, Salmonella, Hepatitis A. These pathogens can leach into the water table and travel. They can end up in your drinking water if you have a private well. They can flow into nearby streams and lakes. They can affect your neighbor's wells. This is not theoretical. In Maine, in Alabama, in Pennsylvania, there have been documented outbreaks of disease traced directly back to failing residential septic systems that were contaminating nearby groundwater. An outbreak of shigellosis in Florida in 1974 affected over 1,200 people and was traced to septic tank contamination of a water source. In Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, 49 cases of hepatitis A were linked directly to a septic tank contaminating a nearby well. Your system, when it works, is actually filtering thousands of gallons of water back into the environment every single day. Nationally, septic systems across the U.S. process over 4 billion gallons of wastewater daily. When those systems work properly, that water comes out clean on the other side. When they fail, that 4 billion gallons is a 4 billion gallon contamination event. So it is not just about your repair bill. It is about what is happening in your backyard, your soil, your groundwater, and potentially your drinking water. So what do you actually do about all of this? Because the goal here is not to scare you into never cleaning your house again. It is to give you information that most septic system owners simply never receive. First, reduce bleach in your cleaning routine. You do not have to eliminate it entirely, especially for occasional heavy cleaning. But switching your everyday cleaners to non-chlorine alternatives makes a significant difference. Vinegar, baking soda, and hydrogen peroxide-based cleaners are effective for most household cleaning tasks and are safe for your septic system. A lot of people make this switch and honestly cannot tell a difference in how clean their home feels. Second, switch your antibacterial products to regular ones. Regular soap cleans your hands just as effectively as antibacterial soap. This is well documented. The antibacterial component does not add meaningful protection in everyday home use, but it does add meaningful damage to your septic system over time. Third, never use chemical drain cleaners if you have a septic system. If you have a slow or clogged drain, use a plunger or a drain snake first. Enzyme-based drain openers, which use biological enzymes rather than chemicals, are a much safer option for septic owners. Fourth, switch from powder detergent to liquid detergent. Specifically, look for liquid detergents that are biodegradable and phosphate-free. These break down completely in water and do not add to the solid layer in your tank. Fifth, spread out your laundry loads. Running 5 loads of laundry in one day sends a large volume of water and detergent into your system in a very short time, which can overwhelm it. Spreading loads out over several days gives your system time to process things properly. Sixth, get your tank inspected and pumped on schedule. Most household septic tanks need pumping every 3 to 5 years. This is not optional maintenance if you want the system to last. A properly maintained system can last 25 to 40 years. A neglected one can fail in half that time or less. Here's the big picture takeaway. You bought your home. You pay your mortgage. You pay for repairs and upkeep. And somewhere under your yard, there is a system doing invisible, critical work every single day to handle one of the most basic functions of your household. That system depends entirely on a living bacterial ecosystem to function. And for most of us, nobody ever told us that. Nobody sat us down and explained that some of the most common products in our home, products we buy specifically to protect and clean, are the same products that are slowly undermining that system. This is not the kind of thing that breaks overnight. It is slow, gradual. The bacteria get suppressed a little more each week. The sludge builds a little faster. The drain field handles a little less each season. And then one day, there is standing water in the yard, or a smell you cannot ignore, or a drain that will not clear no matter what you do. And a technician comes out and tells you the number, $23,000, or $15,000, or $38,000. And your insurance agent tells you it is not covered. The fix is not complicated. It does not cost much. It is just a matter of knowing what you are dealing with, and now you do. If you want to go deeper on the products and maintenance practices that septic professionals actually recommend, everything is linked in the description below.